in search of soil.
How much do lab conditions vary over the wild? In other words, if you modify certain traits of the bacteria, like you said, they could exist in that container that's a lab, but now you put it out into the wild, all of a sudden there's other microbes out there. It has to have defense mechanisms. It has to just be able to survive on its own while it performs these additional functions. How much of a challenge is that?
It's huge. I think that's actually, I mean, I think it's one of the biggest hurdles. And I think um, if you look back, people have been working on biological solutions, microbes, microbial solutions, biological solutions for ag for, for 100 years and really more recently for 30 or 40 years, right? And, you sit there and say, wow, in a world where environmental sustainability is important. And in a world where, clearly it seems like microbes should be, a one of the solutions for growers, why isn't the business bigger? Why aren't there more biological solutions out there? And why is the industry today totally dominated by traits and chemistry? And the reason is simple. It's performance. And the biggest knock on natural microbial solutions is consistency. They don't perform with the same consistency that traits and chemicals do. And one of the reasons for that is because they are living organisms. The products themselves are living. They're microbes, and they are impacted by the environment. And so temperature and moisture and all the things that affect a living organism tend to, as well as just the environment that they're put in, will affect their performance. If you think about a chemical, it for the most part, it doesn't really care. You spray that chemical out there and it kills the bug or it kills the disease. If you put a trait into a plant, it's relatively unaffected by what temperature the soil is or how much moisture there is. It's actually in there. And so those are the tools that the growers have become very comfortable with, and they've become the standard from a performance standpoint. So how do you turn around? How do you take a microbe that is vulnerable or susceptible to the environmental conditions that isn't consistent? How do you get it so that it has the same level of performance as a chemical or a trait? And our belief is that you actually have to engineer, optimize that microbe and get it up above, get the performance up above the noise or the background that's there when you have a natural microbe, so that it is performing, even if the temperature goes down a little bit, or even if the moisture, all these things that might affect that microbe and its colonization, that you've now introduced it's now producing enough of the metabolite, or it's producing enough of the signal, or it's producing enough of the nitrogen that you are performing on a consistent basis. So it really speaks to, because we get why are you engineering? I mean, why not just go find a microbe that goes and does this? And the answer is people have been running down that path for 30 years. And there's arguably not a single blockbuster, there's no biological product that comes close to the use, revenue, success, whatever, of traits and chemicals. They dominate. And it's our belief is that from an environmental sustainability perspective, and just in terms of providing growers with tools that they're going to need to address climate change and regulatory change and consumer demand changes and the whole food security piece, where are their new tools going to come from? Where's the innovation going to come from to allow them to withstand all these different all this adversity that's coming at them? And there will continue to be progress and solutions that come from traits, but the challenge there is you've got to do it pretty much one crop at a time, right? So, and by far the one that's had the most investment in it is corn. by Pioneer and Monsanto, now Bayer. A little bit with soy, but they're really just these big acre crops that have big returns that can justify a 10 to 14 year development cycle, right? So you've got to have a big crop for it. So where's it, but it's limited to just that. And then with chemicals, there's the number of new actives, the number of new modes of action, all of that has slowed down significantly across herbicides, fungicides, and insecticides. And at the same time, the regulatory pressure on it and on all those chemicals has been ratcheted up dramatically. So the door is open for these biological solutions. The door is there, but if you're going to go through it, you've got to go through it with products that perform close to or at the level that the existing products, that the chemicals and the trees do. That's really the real challenge from a scientific and from a scientific perspective.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out some of the great clips and watch the full interviews right here on In Search of Science.